My name is Amandeep Kaur, and I'm the school counselor at Children's Academy Malad branch. And I welcome all of you on behalf of the school as well as CIALFO, who we are collaborating with today for this career talk and the onboarding session. I'd like to let you know why are we here first. We are here to understand and know what are the subject selections possible for our children at school and the specifically the grade 8 students for their subject selection. How can they understand or know their interest or know which is probably the right subject that they can select? We understood that when the subjects were explained to the parents, a lot of parents wanted to know how will our little child who is just probably 13, 14 or 12 will understand which subject to go ahead with. So we collaborated with CIALFO, and I'd like to give you a little information about CIALFO now. CIALFO is an edtech company, which is a very fast growing global edtech company, which deals with career exploration and college applications, as well as assessments for the children, which includes personality assessments, assessments for their intelligences, like general intelligences. Um, and provides a vast portal which has universities to log in to understand universities and does help students find their careers through counselors advisory boards that they have with them. They have over 1,000 higher education institutes in 50 plus countries, as well as counselors and leaders at more than 2,000 schools globally. And we are very fortunate that Children's Academy has come together with CIALFO. The experts from CIALFO are going to take up the session ahead from here. We have Mr. Paul Anthony from CIALFO, Ms. Parul Srivastava, who's going to talk more about the career talk that will follow after 10:40, 10:45 today. So I'd like to introduce Ms. Parul, Parul, sorry, to all of you. Ms. Parul is a PhD researcher at the University of Hyderabad, India, and in 2021, she won the highly coveted Fulbright Award given by the US Department of State to pursue her research in the US. We are very fortunate that she is here who has ample experience of counseling students, helping out with documents with results in a successful transfer of students to universities ahead. She has a lot of experience in guiding students with career opportunities with CIALFO as a portal. She is going to guide us how you can maximum use CIALFO for the same. Without taking much time, parents, I'd like to also inform you that you can put up your questions in the chat box there on YouTube, and we will be addressing those questions by the end of it. I'm repeating in the beginning, we are going to have grade 8 students onboarding session, which means Mr. Paul will help us understand how the portal works and how they have to log in the portal, after which a career talk by Ms. Parul will be taken up. Over to you, Mr. Paul.
Thank you, Amanti, for a warm introduction. Thank you so much. Very good morning, parents. Very good morning, students, and very good morning, all of you. Thank you for taking out time and joining for the sessions. So, as Ms. Amandeep has mentioned clearly, what's the agenda behind today's session? It's basically CIALFO orientation plus a career talk. So it will be split in two parts. The first part would be basically an orientation session, just how to log into the CIALFO platform, how would the students get the login credentials. But first of all, the first question, what is exactly CIALFO and what we do, right? So that's the reason for the onboarding, which would be probably from for half an hour, 45 minutes maximum. And then the session will be taken over by Parul for a career talk. All right. So in between, if you have any questions in terms of onboarding, in terms of the platform, in terms of any career questions, please feel free to put it in the question Q&A box. We will be taking it towards the end. All right. Allow me to share my screen. I hope you are able to see my screen. Parul, can you confirm?
Yes, Paul, we can see your screen.
Thank you. Once again, welcoming everyone. This is introduction to CIALFO, the modern career and complete career guidance platform. So you might have heard about like CIALFO. I don't know whether how many of you heard about CIALFO, but the name sounds very unique, right? So basically, This is taken from the Japan Olympics motto, which means Saitis, Altius, and Fortius, which means faster, higher, and stronger. And we are on a mission to make higher education accessible to 100 million students in a very stipulated time. That's the mission of the organization. And for that purpose, we work very closely with the school, with the students, with the counselors, with the teachers, with colleges and universities, and educators across the globe. Okay, this is our global presence. We are trusted by more than 3 lakh students globally. CIALFO currently has its headquarters in Singapore, but apart from the Singapore headquarters, we have our offices in Washington as well as Shanghai. While in India, we are placed at New Delhi. That's the global presence that we have. Now comes like what is CIALFO? So as I mentioned earlier, CIALFO is an online college and career guidance platform where the students would be able to research on a lot of universities, courses across the platform. The platform is fully AI integrated. The universities in the platform, the colleges in the platform would be recommendation. I mean, there'll be AI recommended universities for individual students based on the preferences, based on the profile, based on the likings, everything. And apart from that, there are a lot of other discovery materials that is required for a grade 8 9 students just to start off a journey for an application. Exactly, if I talk about like what are the courses that fits to them, what are the careers options that is available. So we have a lot of features that is available in the platform, and along with that research and everything, we also provide application support to the students, so that when you are in grade 12, after your journey towards the end of your journey, application journey, at the time of when you are in grade 12, you would be applying to universities, and you can apply to a lot of universities directly from this platform because we are partnered with a lot of universities. Apart from that, we also help students with the non-partner universities also. There will be guaranteed scholarships, there will be student education advisors. Yes, no doubt, these are the features which will be available towards the end of your career journey, which will be in grade 12. But this is the right time to take a start, kick off. That's something very important. And this is the right time, especially 8th, 9th, is the right time to take a call and wake up call for each and every one to start thinking serious about their careers, about their university selections, about their course selections, everything. All right. And this is some of the partner clients that we have. As I mentioned earlier in my previous presentations, we have partnered with more than 1,600 schools across 105 countries. That's a global presence that we have. And if you look at the nearby schools that we are partnered with, we are partnered with Dhirubhai Ambani, we are partnered with Aditya Birla, we are partnered with Indus, Oberoi. We are partnered with Singhania Group, SVKM Group. So a lot of schools in Mumbai, but apart from the Mumbai schools, we also partner with very good repeated schools across the country. And the students of these schools are in the platform. They take help of the platform in terms of all the research part or the discovery, and towards the end, during the application time, the application also sent out from the portal itself. CIALFO is not only for students, but yes, it is for the guardians, especially for the lower grade students, students who are in 8, 9, 10, especially they require a lot of assistance from the parents also. So it's an opportunity for the parents also to log into the CIALFO platform. So we will create the login. So the students themselves can create the login credentials for their parents in the platform. It's very easy. They just need to add the parents' email ID and send the registration link so that you can also track the progress of your child. You can help the child in terms of the complete research part, check how the progress is going on, what are the options that is more relevant to your kids, everything. So CIALFO is not only for students, it's also for guardians. And to take on ahead what exactly students journey is in there in CIALFO platform, so we need to understand that. So basically CIALFO is a one-stop solution in the sense you get everything regarding career till you are applied to the university, everything in the CIALFO platform itself. It all starts with basic profile builders, which results into a resume creator, which is required during the college applications or finalizations. Along with that, you will have career explorations where a lot of career options which fits where what does does this career fits me, what are the best positiveness or negativeness that is required for particular careers. If I'm perfect, if I have a good hands on a particular area, what careers fits me the best. So And also you can search on various careers, not only with careers but also with different destinations, everything in the platform. That's all about the career explorations. Along with that, you have assessments, just to give you a glimpse, like, and just to understand yourself better. And these assessment reports would be indicative, and based on that, you can just, that gives you a better clarity about the strength, the weakness, everything about yourself. All right. And we also have the events and college visits. We a lot of virtual events keeps on happening in the CIALFO platform. So whenever any event is happening, it can be pertaining to a particular course, a particular subject, or even a particular universities. You'll be getting the notifications, and these events happen weeks on the platform. So these would be live events, in a kind of a webinar or a seminar. It will be easy for you to participate in that event, register for that event, and make sure that you interact with the speaker. It can be a professor, it can be an admission officer, everything, like, so that gives you an understanding and learning advantage before you make up a final call, and you can do the entire research part from here also. As I mentioned, there will be college university research. So currently, in today's date, we have more than 14,000 college informations on the platform across the globe. It includes universities and colleges from India, UK, USA, Canada, Australia, Europe, everywhere. So that gives you a complete information about each universities. Where are these universities located? What are the courses that they provide? What are they good in? What are the fees? How is the application sent out? Is it good for my student to study? That every information will be available. You can easily communicate with the university representatives also from the platform itself, which I think my colleague would also be showing when she is doing the discovery material. Along with that, there will be a lot of other CIALFO resources. And during the application, when the students are in grade 12, the school would be able to send out the documentations, which includes the transcripts from grade 9 onwards. Okay, nowadays universities does not look at only 12th grade marks. They look at the profile holistically. Like for that, what all required, like a resume is required, the transcripts of 9th, 10th, 11th, everything is required. A good recommendation letters would require. So these are the prep that students need to do. That is the reason why in grade 8, 9, this is introduced, so that you can start preparing, because you also need to understand if you're want to pursue a particular college or course, what are the requirements. So the grades has to be that high. The extracurricular activities is extremely important. So it's all important. What are the important parameters, to take up to reach that final goal? So as I mentioned, it's a one-stop solution. But the question is how individual students of Children's Academy would be on the platform. So today morning itself, I have sent out the registration link, the CIALFO registration link, to all the grade 8 students of 3 branches. Okay, you can check out the email in your inbox. Please check for an email from notification at CIALFO. The registration is pretty simple. There will be no password that is provided. The only thing is you just need to click on the link. You'll be taken to the platform, and then you can create your own password. Make sure that you use very simple password and bookmark the page, so that every time when you want to log in, it will be pretty easy for you. Okay, update the settings and notification, and make sure that you complete your profile with all the basic information. That's your name, address, phone number, email ID, parents details, everything, so that it becomes easier for us as well as for the school to communicate back to you. This is something that need to be included in the profile of the students. So every student's profile is incomplete right now. We only have the very basic information, that is a student's name, student's grade, as well as uh, the email ID, the basic email, the primary email ID which the school has provided. This is the basic 3 informations right now. It would be available with us. So the students, once they log into the platform, it's mandatory for everybody to fill in the profile informations completely. You can also fill in your contact details for your parents, and also if there are any kind of extracurricular activity, whenever you are participating in an extra, because this is just the beginning. Okay, so as I mentioned previously, extracurricular activities are very important. They play a very vital role in terms of admission to universities. So make sure that you participate in a lot of extracurricular activities, and whenever you are participating in any kind of extracurricular activities, all the informations can be put into the platform. It's very simple, and During the final stage, all this information is fetched from here itself, so that you don't have that pain to take or fill up an application towards a later on style. That's the reason why we require and why we want students to fill up their profile completely with their personal informations. I'm repeating, you can mention, you can leave the test part. Test is something like if you have participating, or if you're planning to participate in any language proficiency test like IELTS, TOEFL, or anything, that will be towards the end. So whenever you take that, you can always edit it later on time. At any point of information filling, if you're not clear, you can just skip. That is also possible. It's not necessary that you have to fill in everything, and also this is editable towards the later on stage. All right, so I request everybody to check your email for the registration, the link that I have sent out today morning. I'm repeating, it will be in the school email ID which has been provided to us. And if you're not able to get it in your inbox, please check in the spam folders also. Maybe the reason because it's coming something coming outside the school, maybe possible it's reaching your spam. So please check your spam folders also, and make sure you log in today itself and update your profile. How to update the profile, this is basically how the profile updation, a small video just to give you a glimpse of like how things has to be updated. So there will be an update personal information button. You just need to click in and fill all the columns which are with red asterisk mark would be mandatory, but try to make sure that you fill in all the informations which is being asked. It can be mobile number, it can be graduation year, it can be an email address, phone number, everything. Okay, this is how you'll be filling in the profile part. And after that, then you can start researching about and exploring the platform completely. So that would conclude everything about the university researches and everything. I know it is not so much relevant to a grade 8 students, but you can start, as I mentioned earlier, this is just start of the journey. You can start researching if you are particularly interested in any particular area. What are the universities providing that particular course? What are the rankings? Everything you can search from here itself. You can always see the events whenever any upcoming events that is happening. As I mentioned in my presentations, there will be a lot of events that keeps on happening in the CIALFO platform. You can always go and register and participate in that event and get the maximum learning out of it. Unfortunately, if you could not register or if you could not attend the live event, there is always a possibility of the event being on a recorded sessions. You can always go back and check the recorded session also, but the recorded session would be there only for a stipulated time. So make sure that you go through it at the earliest whenever an event is happening and get registered and get the maximum informations. There will be trending videos, there will be guides to studying abroad, which my colleague would be taking in detail, and there will be latest articles. There will be information on the career options, everything in the platform. So basically, this is how the dashboard would look like for all the students. It would have, if you see on the left hand side, you can see the home, university, bookmark, application. Bookmark and application would not be something that is relevant right now for the students. It will be home, where you will, in the dashboard, you will have all the discovery materials right now for the students. And whenever there is any assessment that has been assigned to students, basically there are three kinds of assessment that is available in the platform, and it would be available to you when the school counselor is assigning the assessment to you. It would be available on the on the right hand side top corner. There will be an assessment option. If you see, there are three boxes there. You will be able to see assessment, and the information will be passed on to you when the counselor has sent out the assessment. It would not be available right now. So the today's task, or else this week's task, would be students log into the platform, update the profile, and get basically start the research about that. So this is all about the basic platform for the grade 8 students. But there are a lot of more informations which is not so relevant, but I'll just quickly just show what are the benefits and features that is available in CIALFO, so that it can be like it can be on your knowledge. So what are the benefits? So basically, you can apply to the DA partnered university. So DA is CIALFO's own partnership with a lot of universities. We have more than 600 plus university where we have direct partnership. You can apply to these universities. You can get benefit of scholarships. You can track the applications, everything. And also there will be student education advisors when you are in grade 11th and 12th towards the end. And there will be dedicated student education advisors, which guidance can be provided, but this is normally for the grade 12 students. That is when you are in the grade 12, and we work completely in collaboration with the school. And the beauty part is This platform is absolutely free for the students right now. It's not chargeable at all because the school has already taken care. That's how the collaboration is. There will be scholarships, there will be university scholarship, there will be CIALFO scholarship, everything, but that will be towards the end. We not only end up with just an application, career guidance and application, but also a post application support, which is very much required nowadays. It can be in the form of a visa support or service. It can be in the support of a tuition fee, that or else a payment that need to be sent to the universities, accommodation support, urgent application support. In short, a one-stop solutions that is right from the basic research till you are enrolled to the universities. We would be helping you out. That's the entire platform is all about. All right, so that's all which I want to talk. So this is about the student enrollment journey would look like. And that is the so right now all the grade 8 students, it's the right time to log in, update your profile, and start the research part. That's all. Thank you so much for your time and patience. And over to you, Parul.
Thank you so much, Paul. I'll just try sharing my screen.
Sure.
Let me know when you can start seeing my screen. Can you see my screen, Paul?
Not yet, Parul.
Okay, okay. I'll just quickly come back 1 second.
Sure. Just give us a minute.
Yes, can you see my screen now, Paul?
Not.
It
Yeah.
should be visible now, right?
Yeah. It's.
Okay, okay, awesome. Thank you. Thanks a lot. I'll just put it on slideshow. Okay, so hi everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this Saturday morning. It's really lovely when I meet students and parents and counselors from, different parts of the country. And as you know, your school ma'am and Paul already pointed out that I'll be talking about emerging careers, careers in general. What do you have to do to be able to reach there? And given that all of you are, at a certain stage of life, in a class where you don't have to apply for different universities and colleges right away, I mean, there's still a lot that you can do as of now. So, as has already been pointed out, my name is Parul, and I'm the Specialist Education Advisor with CIALFO. So when we talk about careers in general, I don't think we can talk about careers in its own individuality. We definitely have to sort of backtrack. We have to look back at the choices that we are making when we talk about selecting our subjects, right? Because I feel, and I mean, it's a fact that whether or not you choose the right subjects can actually go ahead and play a big role in you choosing a particular kind of a career, right? And which is why it's very, very important that both your subject selection and your future career options, right, they are completely in sync with one another. So this is actually going to help you make a very informed decision, right? So just take an example. For example, you want to prepare for say, let's say, eco honors, and in maximum number of colleges in India, you definitely require to have mathematics as part of your grade 12 subjects. And just assume that you don't have that. So just imagine the kind of hassle you'll have to face when you're actually applying for that particular course. Same thing goes for if you're applying for any subject that requires you to have all of the subjects from the field of STEM, right? But you don't have one of those. So instead of going through that hassle, it's very important that at the initial stages itself, at the initial level itself, you have a conversation with your counselors. You also have a conversation with your parents and start thinking about your subjects that you would choose at this stage, which will go on to give you the career of your choice. So how do you basically go and choose a career? Now, there's no formula attached to it. There's no rule or regulation. It's just that that all of us, through our experience, through the course of years, we've just come to realize that choosing a career has everything to do with you discovering your own interest and your talent. Okay, so again, quick example. I had a friend in school who was very, very good when it when you talk about communication skills, right? um, you would think, I mean, this person can actually go ahead and become a great newsreader, maybe a lawyer, right? Or maybe a journalist, for example. But that person went on and just did a very basic, commerce related course. Now, as opposed to that, had that person realized his or her talents at a very early level, at a very initial stage, they could have gone and chosen something that's actually complementing their talent, that's actually complementing their interest. That's very, very important, right? So I mean, later on in life, they realized that, okay, yes, this is what I want to do. But then by that time, they had already wasted a couple of their years. So then they re-enrolled into an NLU, I mean, prepared for CLAT, etc., and enrolled in an NLU, and then restarted their career. So this is something that I always advise my students and parents to be, aware of and be sort of wary of, right? Why do I say that? Because if you have that kind of awareness, if you have that kind of knowledge from the get-go, you will not be prone to making this kind of mistakes in your future, right? So just think about it. If you are somebody who's very good and who's a very good writer, just think about what are the different career options that you can look at, right? If you're somebody who has a knack for, say, for example, the field of STEM, maybe science subjects in general, just think about what exactly do you want to do in that, because today is the date is the day and age of interdisciplinary studies. Even if you're good in one subject, you can definitely go ahead and combine it with another one and then do something completely different, completely new, right? um, Second point is that you have to consider your high school academic strength. Now, we all have different opinions about, whether we should be grading a student or not, whether we should be assessing the student or not. But, as for the sake of, this particular exercise, we definitely have to go back to our high school grades, and we have to figure out that, okay, throughout the course of this year or maybe a couple of years, ninth and 10th, what exactly were my strengths? Which were the subjects that I really, really was very, very excited about studying, and which subject sort of, brought my percentage down, the overall percentage. I mean, even I have been there, so I remember that there was always that one subject that would somehow bring my overall percentage down, right? So just think about your strength in terms of academics, and then go on to the third point and start identifying your personal and social strength. Okay, so as I mentioned, what exactly is your strength? Are you a good writer? Are you a good speaker? Are you somebody who's very curious by nature? Are you somebody who's very fond of researching, right? So do you have the kind of inquisitive mind? Are you that person? Start jotting down this kind of strengths, so that all of this will later on help you have that conversation with your counselor, with your parents, and even with our platform, CIALFO. And of course, this will all just help you figure out which career is the best suited for you, or rather, which career cluster is the best suited for you. And I will come to what exactly do I mean when I say a career cluster. The next point that you can look at is exploring trending career, and choose carefully and thoughtfully. Now, this is the day and age of social media. I mean, we all know that, every time we just log on to any social media platform, we have a new influencer coming up, and similarly, a lot of other such options have come up. Now, while this might seem very fascinating and very easy, right, it's actually not. So you have to be very clear, which is why I'm saying you have to explore career trends, and you have to choose carefully and very thoughtfully, right? So there are people who are unable to work by themselves. So there are certain people like who always require maybe a group to work with, or maybe require that kind of supervision, right? But if you choose a career, for example, a social media influencer, just for the sake of this example, you have to work in the initial few years all by yourself, right? just to be able to get there. And you have to be self motivated. Now, if you are that person, that's good for you. If you're not that person, I wouldn't suggest you getting into that field, right? Because just trying and making errors really does take a lot of your time. And I think if you are at your age, it's more important for you to have conversations with people around you, people who can actually give you that kind of input, that give you that kind of feedback, right? So all of the important stakeholders, right, from your parents to teachers to counselors to us at Team CIALFO, make sure you do that before you go ahead and finalize that, okay, yes, this is the career that I wish to have in my life. And so that's that's the fifth point over here. Now, to secure a very fair selection, just look at this picture. Now, these are all different animals, and we all know, as a matter of fact, that they all have very different strength. Somebody might be very, very strong physically. Somebody else might be very strong when you talk about maybe running. Someone else is more flexible, right? Someone else might have a very, very fast brain. So it's very wrong for us to sort of assume that, okay, um, all of these people, will have to sort of go ahead and climb a tree to be able to to be able to prove that, yes, I am the most strongest of them all, or maybe I am the best animal. That's not possible. Similarly, you just have to think about in terms of students, in terms of our children. So everyone is very different. um, one person might be very good at mental ability, logical reasoning, mathematics, right? The other person might have a knack for business. I mean, I have met students who've had such a knack for business that they really started something of their own in class 10th, in class 9th. There are people, there are students who are developing app at that stage, whereas there are others who might be into community service, who might be into different forms of voluntary activities. So it really depends upon who you are as an individual, and you realizing your strengths, which is why that was the first point in the last slide, that you have to discover your strength and your capabilities. And that's how you'll be able to understand that, okay, this is what I'm good at. So if I look at the long run, maybe this is the field that I can be sort of I can excel in, right? So it's very important for us to always keep this into consideration. Now, broadly speaking, we're all aware of this thing. So this is basically information that's already out there, and you already know this. But just to reiterate the same thing once again, broadly speaking, we have three different career streams. Of course, you have science, you have commerce, and you have arts. Now, traditionally speaking, if we talk about the field of science or commerce, you might just think about the very basic subjects, pure sciences. Commerce, okay, just go ahead and enroll for a BBA or a BCom honors, or an economics honors. But that's not it, right? In today's day and age, we are every day, times are changing. We are living in the times of artificial intelligence. So every day, something or the other which is new and novice is just coming up in the market. And if you are somebody who has the ability to sort of club it with your interest, trust me, you can go on to do something amazing in life. So just don't think about these career streams in the very traditional way that we've been sort of trained to. Always try to think about it in terms of today's day and age, and how best you can use these things to your ability, right? Which brings me to different career clusters. So so what is a career pathway? So career pathway is a grouping of careers with similar characteristics. So within a career cluster, there is a thread of common interests and abilities. So when students identify a career pathway, they are better able to make links between their interest, abilities, career goals, and courses that they take in school. So what exactly I have said here is something that I have been explaining to you since the past 4 slides, right? So identifying your interest, your ability, right? How will you do that? You have to actually sit and brainstorm with stakeholders who have some sort of a vested interest in you, which is of course your parents, your teachers, your counselors. You have to make that list. You have to align all of these things with your career goals, right? For example, if I talk about myself, I have always had this affinity towards the field of history. right? So what I did was that I started studying history as my major. I mean, of course, I was studying Indian art and I was studying architecture as well. I did philosophy as well as part of my undergrad, but history was the common thread that was sort of tying everything together. And today, if you talk about my PhD, that's what I am doing a PhD in. But my PhD is not just about history; it's very interdisciplinary in nature. So I have to take, cues from the field of anthropology, from the field of oral history to sort of, digital humanities. So this is how you have to start thinking about your careers. So if you just look at the right hand side of your screen right now, you can see a bunch of different career clusters, right? So you can see architecture and construction, you can see education and training. You can see hospital and tourism, you can see information technology, and so on and so forth. So it is, and trust me, it's not mandatory for you to find something of your interest here on this page. I mean, students of today, you are very, very free thinkers, I would say. So just make sure that, if you're not finding something over here, you definitely are finding something on our platform, which I'll be taking to you right now. So let me just go back to the platform. Paul, can you see my screen? Can you see the platform?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you. So, students and parents, as my colleague already showed you the platform, so this is how the dashboard would look like. So, I thought that instead of me showing you a few slides again, I think I would rather take you through a very interactive thing, which is our platform. So, if once you're on the dashboard, you just have to scroll. And as Paul suggested, if you are somebody who's filled out your profile completely, like I have, the kind of personalized recommendations you will get will be absolutely on point. So please make sure that you do that. And just below that, you have suggested careers for you. Now, trust me when I say this, I mean, our platform, as I mentioned, that we are constantly evolving. Just in today's day and age, everything is constantly evolving, right? And we're just making changes to things for the better. Similarly, we've also made a lot of changes to our platform for the better, so that our students, even in grade 8, even in grade 9th and 10th, can go ahead and use the platform to the best of their ability and capability, and maximize their usage out of this. So the career section, you just have to go and click on view all. Now you will be seeing a lot of different careers. Say, for example, careers in the field of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Again, you click on see all. So you have, this whole plethora of information. Now, this is something that CIALFO has, actually curated for our, schools, our students, our teachers. So all of the information over here is absolutely, valid. You can definitely go ahead and trust this. We definitely come with the reliability factor, right? So now, you must think that why I are you even doing this? Why have you even shown this to me? Now, the reason is that nor me, nor Paul, nor can your teachers can actually give you information about anything and everything in today's day and age. The world is changing so rapidly, it's just changing so quickly that it's impossible for one person to be that encyclopedia, to be able to tell you everything about everything, which is why we've made this career page, which will look something like this. So for example, if you're interested in becoming a solar engineering energy systems engineer, now we would say that if you're somebody who's inclined towards this, you should be good at these things, right? You should prefer these things, and these are the common activity that you might be required to do as part of your job. Okay, and you should definitely be having knowledge of these factors. So just we've sort of simplified work for you, right? Because if you go on the internet, you get very generic answers, right? But over here, we're just trying to sort of narrow it down even further and tell you that, okay, these are the qualities that you should be having. These are the fields that you should be strong in, right? So similarly, if you scroll down, you have careers in the field of business management and administration, and so on and so forth. So when you see this button over here, this basically allows you to save the career for yourself, because let's face it, we do not have time at every point during the day. So you can just save different career options, and you can always come back and have a look at this, discuss it with your parents, discuss it with your teachers, right? That I think I'm inclined towards, becoming a wind energy development manager, and this is the kind of information and knowledge that I need to have. And these are the common work activities that I might be required to do, right? So that's a great starting point for anyone. Another quick example I'll give you. um, let's assume, I mean, we all have been seeing so many different kinds of fashion designers, right? I mean, all of these different brands that are coming out there. We just see these things on the celluloid and we think that, okay, their lives are so amazing, they're so glamorous, and I really want to be a part of this. Now, what we don't realize is that is the amount of hard work and the number of work hours that go into that, right? So we are just looking at, the world of the fashion designer from the outside, but we're not actually having that, entry point, that window into what exactly does it entail for this person to be able to do what they are doing. So these are certain things, that we should always keep in mind when we are selecting our careers, whether it's in the field of marketing, it's in the field of health sciences. So you see, I mean, at CIALFO, the career page, it's just pretty loaded. And, you all will find something or the other for your liking, definitely. And trust me, if you don't find, then you can definitely go ahead, write back to Paul, and, he can redirect it to the person, who can go ahead and solve your query. But as of today, given the extent of careers that we've tried to cover in a career section, I'm pretty sure that you will definitely go ahead and find something which is of interest to you. Now, you see, we also have a saved icon over here, and if you click on that, anything that you've saved so far will just come over here. So, this is just making your life more and more organized, right? So once you have saved quite a few options, you can then, maybe one evening have a conversation with your parents that, hey, dad, I really want to look at, XYZ options, and, what do you think about it? Right. So it's very important that we constantly keep on bringing our parents into, the conversation, into the picture. Let me go ahead and reshare my screen. So so I would say that all right, so this is something. Let me choose. Okay. So, in the field of science, again, you have so many different emerging career options. It's not just the old age ones that, okay, yes, you are a science student, which kind of engineering do you want to do? Whether it's mechanical, it's electrical, it's civil, right? Or of course, everyone's favorite, computer science. Within computer science, now you have so many different options that, as a student, the more and more, you sort of narrow down your choices, the better it is for you to sort of make a career in that field, right? And even vice versa. So you don't have to worry about what stage of selection, what stage of, finalizing your career you're at. You will definitely have something or the other to your liking, being out there. And what you have to do is that whatever it is that you're doing, you make sure that you excel in that. That's the basic, thing that you have to worry about, right? I mean, so you have cybersecurity. We all know about so many different kinds of cyber frauds that are happening in today's day and age. So we definitely need people who can actually go ahead and safeguard, this entire field for us, right? I mean, you have hacking, but then you have ethical hacking, right? So why don't people who are into, that field think about that? Right. Similarly, you have data sciences, you have robotics. I mean, nowadays you have restaurants, where you have robots serving you food, etc. So you can just imagine how normalized, have these things become for us, right? So just think about that from that perspective, and then go ahead and finalize the career that you might want to have in your life. Again, emerging careers in the field of commerce, I would say till about a decade ago, you say the field of commerce, our minds would automatically go towards, I want to prepare for CA, for CS, maybe I want to do eco honors. How about BCom honors from Delhi University, Mumbai University? But today, it's not the case. You have so many newer things coming up now. If you look at industrial and corporate psychology, this is basically what interdisciplinary studies is all about. This is an amalgamation of, two very different things, but it's actually very, very relevant. So if you are on the career page of CIALFO, you should definitely go ahead and read about these things, because of course, it's difficult for me to cover each and every topic and in just a very small period of time. So what I'm doing is that I'm trying to develop that critical thinking within you, so that you can start thinking on those lines and reach a consensus, that, reach a decision that, okay, these are the steps that Parul told me to, and this is what I'm doing right now, right? Similarly, fintech, finance, technology. Now it's all just about, like marrying two different fields. It's all about interdisciplinary studies. If you think about IIM Ahmedabad, do you know that people over there, researchers over there, are studying and researching economic history? So that's history, but from an economic point of view, right? So just try to sort of read more and more, try to do more and more research, that you also are able to come up with something that is very unique, right? That gives you that edge over others. All right. I mean, fashion merchandising. Okay. So we all know that, there are so many different pages on Instagram nowadays that have become those, I would say, those e-stores for all of us to look at. And sometimes the quality of these merchandise is pretty amazing, right? So that's all about fashion merchandising, like you amalgamating your sense of fashion and then bringing in, the commercial angle into that, right? So fashion merchandising. You talk about esports. I mean, if you just think about whenever, we were just all watching the World Cup, right, last month. It's not just those 11 players, who are playing on the field. It's about so much more. There are so many different kinds of departments and divisions that you have who are taking care of different things, for the players, right? So this is how, I mean, there's a separate section, there's a separate what do you call, team that helps telecast these things for you, right? So it's, I mean, sports is not just sports, right? Fashion is not just fashion. You can think about so many different things to sort of club them with and maybe come up with something new. I mean, that's my motto. That's what I've always been telling students, that don't just think in the traditional way. Start thinking about, new ways that you can sort of contribute in. You talk about social media marketing. We all know image consultancy. It's a big market in today's day and age, because social media is getting bigger than ever. And as I mentioned in the very beginning, we have so many different kinds of influencers coming up. And do you think, that once they are making it big, do you think they have the time to be able to do marketing, to be able to do their own PR by themselves? No, they of course require a whole team who's doing a lot of things for them, right? So that's about that. Then, of course, my favorite, you have interdisciplinary courses. And already covered some of these things: finance with engineering, blogging and photojournalism. So I mean, now you also have a lot of people creating their own blogs and creating their own vlogs, right? So you don't really need that that print media, a print magazine or a newspaper, to be able to showcase your talent. For example, you're a great photographer, you can very well have your own blog that showcases that. And in the process of it, a lot of times people start monetizing that. So that also happens. You have liberal arts. I mean, digital humanities is something that was honestly unheard of until a point ago. If I talk about the field of oral history, I mean, oral history is still not developed in India, but it has been out there in the United States since the 1930s. Why don't some of us think about that? Why don't we start amalgamating sociology and oral history and the field of history together and come up with something new, right? So just think about, try to develop that sense of know-how, that kind of critical thinking into your mind, so that you are able to do something which is completely new, completely novel, completely novice. That is something that I constantly keep on emphasizing on. Now, certain myths that we've all heard when even I was younger, that physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology, right? So basically all of the sciences and math, they keep your options open. uh, that's not the case, right? Unless you're somebody who really just wants to do something in that particular field, today's day and age, you have so many different options, right? We are also having schools nowadays who do not have those streams, the traditional streams, right? So, for example, you have a student who's taken biology but is also studying legal studies. So, just imagine the kind of new things that that person will be able to bring on the table, right? So there's nothing of this thought that, okay, yes, you need to be able to have PCM or PCB, and only then you can have the world at your disposal. No, it's not like that. Times have changed. You just have to keep yourself updated, with times. Pre-decided combination of subjects is the only option for you. This is exactly what I said, So there are schools that are not giving into that, traditional subject combination thingy, right? So they're coming up with their own new subjects, right? Whether you talk about physical education, you talk about legal studies, you even talk about art and architecture. There are so many different subjects that are coming up now. A lot of students are also learning different languages, European languages, say for instance, for example, Spanish and French. And if you know about the language courses that JNU has, so I mean, amazing university, great courses. People actually go ahead and study that at an undergrad level. And I know a lot of people personally who've been able to get amazing jobs in different countries, right? So just think about it. If you're somebody who's very good in speaking, in public speaking, and you also know Spanish, can't you combine the two and become a journalist who also understands Spanish? So then you have a different market, where you can try getting a job for yourself. You can actually go to Spain. I know people who've done that, who've gone to Spain, who've gone to other Spanish speaking countries, and they've gotten jobs for themselves in the field of journalism, right? So that's the kind of amalgamation that I'm talking about. The third myth is humanities is a respite if you're not good at math. That's so not true. My marks, for example, just talking about myself, I had marks more than any person, I mean, more than the required marks that you needed to take PCM, but I chose to take commerce or I chose to take humanities later on. Why? Because of my interest. And trust me, my interest lies in the field of humanities, which is why had I taken PCM just because I had, 90% marks back in the day, I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing right now, right? I would have been doing something which, of course, would have paid me well, just like it is now. But the interest, the satisfaction that a job brings you, you have to really think about that as well. That's a very important part, because this career that we're talking about, it's actually going to be half your life, right? I mean, for the better part of the day, you will be doing something that you did not really like doing, right? So let's just stay away from that and focus more on our own immediate passion, on our own immediate liking. That's very important. The next thing is, your major decides your career. Not really. A lot of people, we all know, I mean, people who go for civil services, many a times they don't go ahead and choose the same major that they chose for their undergrad. So, yes, your major does not really decide your career. A lot of people go for a second postgrad degree, right? Because they somehow find their liking, their inclination in in the latter stages of their life, and they go ahead and do that. So today, I would say focus more on skill development, focus more on adaptability, flexibility, because the market is changing. If we just focus on the subject that is there today in 2023, um, I mean, nobody really knows if the same subject would be relevant in 2033, right? So just focus more on your skills and try to develop skills that will help you adapt, through time, through thick and thin. That's very important. And of course, no good careers are there in the field of humanity. That's a complete lie. That's something that we should not be giving into. Start researching, go on the platform CIALFO, try looking at different career options, and then you yourself will see that what exactly does the field of humanity offer, right? Now, there are certain tips for you to consider. First one, of course, you have to explore a number of careers and majors. So, okay, just because your uncle told you something, just because your friend told you something, does not mean that it's mandatory for you to do that. You can always take that into consideration, okay? And of course, do your own research. Your own research should never stop. You should always be on the lookout for something that fits you the way you want it to fit you, right? The second thing is to get involved and interact with working professionals. This is what I meant when I spoke about the life of a fashion designer, what it looks from the outside, what it actually is. A lot of times, I've had students come to me that saying that, I mean, I want to become a doctor, but I don't think I can dedicate, the number of work hours and, the kind of commitment that it requires. I'm sorry, but then you'll have to, right? If you're a doctor, then there are certain things that you have to do. So I think this tip is more for parents. So parents, what you can do is that you can, I mean, given your social circle, you can definitely get in touch with people, from the field that your child likes to be in or sort of aspires to be in, and maybe just have them have a conversation with these professionals, right? So the child can also get to understand that, okay, from the outside the life of a banker looks like this, but it actually is very different, right? So they should be able to make an informed decision based on complete information and not just something at a very superficial level. So you have to get involved and you should start interacting with working professionals. For example, if you want to become say for example head of school, just go talk to your own principal and try to understand the kind of challenges he or she faces, in their day to day lives, right? So that's just an example. You can sort of apply it to any professional, to any field that you desire to be in. And the last thing is, please dare to try something new, right? I mean, how is it that we have so many new developments, so many new research, coming in from different parts of the world? Why? Because people tried, people dare to try something new. Had we all just given in to what is out there, and the traditional subjects, everything traditional, the subject combination and everything, I don't think anything new would have come out of that. So the more daring you have, the more guts you have, I think the better it is for the field of humanity and for, of course, your discipline that you would choose. And the last thing is to avoid certain mistakes. And the most common mistake of all is, do not select a major because it's trending, right? Everybody cannot go and become a computer, science engineer. No, not everybody has to do that, and not everybody should be doing it. If everyone goes and becomes that one thing, what about all the other things in the world? So just because something is trending at a particular time when you are graduating from school, does not mean that you have to give into that and you have to do that. No, 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 absolutely not. Do not select a major because just because it sounds cool. Very, very, very apt point. I see a lot of people going for economics because they feel that I mean, this sounds really cool. A lot of people doing eco honors have gone on to become, XYZ. I mean, people have gone to become bureaucrats with the Indian government, etc. And I'll get to work for, the World Bank, etc. But that's not always the case. Just because something is sounding cool does not mean it's the right fit for you. As I mentioned, you have to go back, you have to think about your own interest, about your own capabilities, and then try to select your own major, not because it sounds very cool. And the last thing is that please do not assume that you have it all figured out. Nobody has. All right. So you have so many resources in the form of CIALFO, in the form of your parents, your teachers, your counselors, your school administration, to be able to help you figure it out. It's your age to sort of get into it and start exploring things. The more and more you explore things, the more clarity you will have. But don't ever feel that, okay, I have everything figured out, I don't really need any of this. No, that's when you would be making a mistake, because you never know, there might be something out there, which is actually a better fit than something that you thought is a good fit for you. So just avoid getting into this kind of things. And in the end, what's your final takeaway? I would say that just try to maximize your time and efforts on CIAL for the platform. As my colleague Paul already showed you, how do you go ahead and fill out the profile section? How can it benefit you? Even students, in the lower grades, it really does benefit you a lot. If you're applying for any internship, you can also go ahead and just click on create resume on the platform, and you can just download your resume in less than a minute. And I have written this in bold because I really, really wanted everyone to check out the career section. And because if you do, trust me, you will not have questions like what does a historian do, and what does a sociologist do, what does a banker do? Why? Because all of these questions have been answered on the platform, and trust me, that answer is going to be more reliable, more accurate, and will give you a lot of different kinds of knowledge, right? What subjects you should know, what are the different kinds of I would say skill set that you should have, etc., etc. So in order to avoid asking these basic questions, I would say that please go ahead, check out the career section. And of course, definitely check out the curated content, which is, a lot of guides, a lot of videos, a lot of articles that we have. I'll just quickly show that to you as well. So as I mentioned, on the platform, you scroll down, you have careers. My colleague Paul showed you events. So we also have curated, this whole list of trending videos, a lot of study abroad guides. Now, why do we do that? We've done that so that we can make your lives and the life of your counselors also very easy. So if you have this basic information, right, by reading all of these different articles, these study abroad guides, etc., you can, I mean, your initial set of questions will already be answered, right? So then you will have only the more important question, the more relevant question to ask, a counselor or a professional. So this will really help you make that foundation, right? So just make sure that you do that. And I think with that, we've come to an end of today's presentation. If we have any more questions, Paul and I would love to answer them for you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Parul. It was very nice to understand a lot of career options, which, some of them have written questions. We want to come out of the humanities, science, and commerce kind of a view, which I think most of our parents in their younghood have experienced as the only options that they have. But there's so much more. And we could listen to you and understand there's so much that children can now explore, and career exploration has therefore become very, very important. So, to all the parents and the students who are listening to me here on the YouTube page, please understand that CIALFO is not only a portal for your assessments, which I will brief you about, but also for career exploration. And when we say exploration, a career now is not the three options that I just told. It is so much more, which means you have to read, you have to know, you have to understand, you have to see what really is a connection for you, because it's a choice for a lifetime. Not that people don't change careers nowadays. Of course, there is a career shift and career change that we see after you even select your career. But it's a choice for life. So, which means when you're choosing something for a lifetime, you want to really know it well before you choose. So, an informed choice is what we want from the schools and that you all make. And therefore, CIALFO is the best portal that you can read up about. There's no limit to the information that you have there. It's not only about career options, but universities, but the kind of lifestyle that a person with that career is going to choose, the live webinars there, the kind of talks that they have organized, or there is a section for the same, helps you understand so much more that you will probably not, find such a curated information at one platform anywhere else. So do make the best use of it. This is to all the parents and the students. We are going to wait for all of you to ask questions. I believe some of you may have joined a little later for the career talk. You can go back and listen to this talk again. But if you have questions, please start putting it down on the YouTube chat box, of this video. I will put it up here for the speakers. You all can also access it on the YouTube page. But before we do that, I'd like to inform the grade 8, grade 9, and grade 10 students that there is an assessment section, testing and assessment section, which your school counselor will open for you. And when they assign it to you or open it for you, they will give you a deadline or a time range that you have to complete it in. Especially with grade 8 students and grade 10 students, we're going to try our best to make you do the same in the school premises only, or if not, at home, which will help you guide your subject selection, which will help us also understand if you're very, very confused with any subjects. It will help us understand how to guide you for which will be the best subject for you at the moment. So there are two assessments majorly that will define the same. One is for personality and one is general intelligence, personality intelligences. So both of it will be on your portal. We will now be sharing a link that will come to your email ID, school email IDs, which you have to click on and log in. Once you all log in, and we're going to give you this weekend, grade 8 especially, we're going to give you this weekend for logging in, log in, and then from Monday onwards at every school at different timings in the next week, we will try and arrange your testing and assessment. So be ready with your logins is one thing for grade 8 students. Parents, if you have any questions, you can ask your school counselors, but anything related to career that you have, please ask right now. So we have Parul and Paul who can answer the same.
Amandeep, just before going ahead, I'll just take 2 more minutes
Sure,
to
sure.
show you the live
Please.
platform, because I could see in the chat like there were a lot of question asking where is it assessment, like profile updation and everything. I think I'll just take 2-3 minutes time. Just allow me to share my screen once again. I hope you can see my
Please.
screen right now. Parul, can you
Yes,
see my screen? Yeah.
yes.
So basically, this is a live demo platform that
Yes.
I want to show you. So once the students click on the link, so the registration link Amandeep was talking about, the registration link has been sent to the school email ID of the students. So it's for all the three branches. It's already been done today morning. So please check out. And once you click on that link, please create your own password, save the password, and then move ahead with basic filling of the information. Once you are launched into the platform, this is the first page that you would see, which is called the dashboard. This is basically the student's dashboard. On the student's dashboard, you can see on the left hand side there are four options, which is home, university, bookmark, as well as applications. Give me a minute. Yeah. On the right hand portions, on the top portions, you can see there are three things. One is inbox, one is to do list. So this is one of the feature. If you click on to do, there will be an assessment options. So whenever your counselor is whenever your teacher or counselor is assigning you an assessment, it will be informed to you. You have to log in, fill up the informations, and then go to the top portions, click on the assessment, and then you would be able to see the assessment whichever is been assigned to you, and they can take that assessment. The assessment time tentatively takes 30 minutes. That's a tentative time. So make sure that you fill in the assessment at one go itself rather than breaking it and at one go, because that gives a more appropriate result. Okay. So along with that, you also have in the settings, there is chat with CIALFO options, which is our support team, our 24 into support team, which is available for you in terms of any kind of queries that you have in your platform, anything regarding anything else. So what you have to do is, if you have any questions, if you have not clear any doubt, you can go to the chat with CIALFO, click on chat with CIALFO, immediately ask them a questions. And whenever you are utilizing platform, whether it is a weekend or a holiday, the team is available 24 into 7, and they will be able to answer your queries the way you can see how fast the response is coming in. All right. So, and to go ahead, this was the basic configurations. If you go back on the center portions on the dashboard, you can see there are certain criteria. So like the first portion would be a profile updation, which I mentioned in the onboarding session, that every student has to update the profile. Initially, when you log in, the profile would be very much limited, very incomplete. So this is not only for the grade 8, but also the current students who are in grade 9th, 10th, and 11th. Please make sure if your profile is not updated, just go and click on the profile, complete profile. There will be various parameters. Just click on edit information. You can see the personal informations. Right now, mine is completely filled up. The same, it would not be like that for you. So what we can do is just click on edit, fill up all the informations, and make sure that you hit the save changes. And once you hit the save changes, your profile gets completed. In the same way, for the 10th and 11th standard students also, please make sure that you can fill in your preferences about the universities and the courses that you're looking at. Again, the university recommendations in the platform comes based on the preferences and the profile updation and everything. This would be basic questions like, what are you looking for? What are the type of university? What are the type of course? Which course you're looking for? Are you looking to do your graduation in India or abroad? What is your preferred course, or even what is a budget, everything. So this is basic preference you will be filling in. So this is something that I would require all the students to log in and complete your profile. Once you have that, you would have the personalized recommendations. As Parul had shown, there will be suggested career options. It's not only fitting into 3. There is a view all options. When you're clicking on view all, it will elaborate completely, and you can see the career in science and technology, engineering, mathematics. There are total 73 pages. If you can scroll down, careers in business management, administration, there are almost like a lot of further information you can see in marketing, health science, arts, video, technology, communication, manufacturing. So this is how you can explore the platform, go each and every careers that fits your interest. There is also a search box. You can type the industry, you can match your interest, and research based on your filtration possibility. Further, if you scroll down, as I mentioned in my presentation, here is the event tab. So event will always show whenever an upcoming event. For example, these are some of the upcoming events that's coming up, which has been conducted by either a university representatives or professors, or even directly with the university. So you can see how is it going on. You can simply register for that event, And you can also see the past recording of the event. Like if you could not attend any particular event which was conducted recently, and you can always go back and check the past recordings. So this recording would be available for a stipulated time. Similarly, after the career portions, after the events, I'm sorry, if you further scroll down, you can always see the trending videos and also guides to studying abroad. Since Parul mentioned very clearly, if you are planning abroad, you can always go and check. For example, if I'm a student planning to do graduation in US, I want to know full information about US, like what are the overview, what is the admission requirement, what are the fees, what is the application criteria. If you want to know everything, that is available in the platform under the guides to studying abroad. Okay, and also if you further scroll up, then there will be latest articles. And if you want to research about the universities, the current 11th standard students, 10th standard, this is the time to research. You can always go to the research university part. Again, there are different cards, like you can check on universities where you can apply from the platform itself that is available here. If you scroll down, you can check the universities based on various ranking, like in this country, which is the best ranked universities, like globally, which are the best ranked universities. If you want to see the universities based on country wise, that is again possible. If you can just see this tags like Australia, India, United States, that will cover all the regions. And if you want to further get complete information about any particular universities, for example, if I'm talking about, let's say Amity University Lucknow, if I click on Amity University Lucknow, that will give you detailed information about that universities. You can download the brochures. You can even the videos will be there. You can do a virtual tour of that university. That information will be completely shown. How is the application sent out? What are the fees? Who is the admission officers? What are the courses available? For example, Amity University Lucknow provides you 54 courses in the current in the upcoming academic year, that is 2024. So this also keeps on changing, so you can see all the updates that is happening in the beginning of the academic year. You would be able to see particular course start, deadline, scholarship available, everything. You can also connect to the universities. There is a connect button in the particular in under the university. So connect will establish a connect between you and the university. It means whenever there is any updates that is happening in this university, you will always get an immediate notification. You can always create a list of universities as per your preferences. It can be initially to a long list and short listing, and that would be, once you do that, you can always see the list here. The way we do, like Amazon shopping or Flipkart shopping, how we generally do the research, keep them under our track, evaluate the best and finalize the best product. In the same way, you can just research about the courses and universities that's providing it. You can get them into your own short list, long list, and then finally, when you are in grade 12 during the application time, you can directly put it into the applying list. That will be easy for you to apply from the platform. And I think I have covered mostly in the platform. If there is any Parul pending, you can just take it.
Yeah, Paul, I think there is one question that's coming up, and that is, can you tell them the link for the website? I mean, how to register once again, and how can they download the mobile app?
Okay, so you can, so the both has been sent to your email ID, the school email ID of the students. So all the students might have their own school email ID. So the registration link is sent to your own school email ID. Please check the email. There itself, there will be a QR code. You can just scan and download the mobile app also. But I would recommend at the first updation, please make sure that you log in from a desktop or even a laptop, because that give a wider viewability, filling complete informations, and then towards the later on stage, you can download the mobile app, and that will be easy for you to explore anytime. The
Thanks,
registration
Paul.
link is being sent today morning itself.
Yeah, so I am also seeing a few more questions coming up on which subject do I choose if I want to become a counselor, a psychologist. So for a lot of these things, as I mentioned, I was giving you the eco honors example. So similarly, as Paul already showed you, so once you're on the platform, you can actually go ahead and look at different courses and the eligibility criteria. So that way, because it can be highly subjective depending upon different universities and what is the course structure that they are following. So it's always advisable and ideal to go to that particular university and look at that course, the eligibility criteria. And I think that's the best way that you can be updated regarding that. And another question was about becoming, what should we choose if I want to become an IAS officer? So, I mean, there is no such course that I would say that, okay, yes, if you do this one, then definitely you have great chances at, UPSC. It's not like that. Of course, you need to have an undergrad degree, that's for sure. But then, as I mentioned, it's not even mandatory for you to choose your major as, one of your subjects for UPSC. It's not, it does not work like that. Completely depends upon the syllabus, the curriculum that, like you are looking at. I mean, a lot of people I know, they go ahead and they have chosen public administration. Why? Because the syllabus comparatively is smaller as compared to, say, for example, a history syllabus or a geography syllabus. So it is completely your choice. And UPSC, if you're somebody who's following the trends, every year, the trend is changing. So some years you see a lot of people getting selected, who've taken history as their major. Some other times you have public administration. And you've also had people who've chosen electrical engineering and they've gotten, single digit rank, in the final list of selections. So there is no surety. There's no one subject or two subject or a combination of subjects that works very, very well for, sorry, oh, I'm sorry, I did not realize my video is off. Sorry. Yeah, so there's no one or two subject or a combination of subject that works very well and is a short thing. In the case of UPSC, you just have to keep yourself updated of the latest trends, right, in that particular field. So I think that's very important. And the bible of all of this is the syllabus. Just by listening to other people that yes, public administration, the syllabus is usually smaller, don't just believe that. You pick up the syllabus yourself, you look at all of the units and all of the modules yourself and try to figure out what is the best way for you to study module A, module B, etc. And if you feel that yes, this is doable, then you go ahead, choose that. And if you still feel that, maybe a geography, I mean, geography, if you talk about it, it's, yes, it comes in the field of social sciences, humanities, but still it's very scientific in nature, right? So a lot of people choose geography because of that. So again, I would say looking at the syllabus is half the battle won. Why? Because you get to understand and see the extent of, the things that you have to cover, right? I mean, in a layperson's language, we say that, for UPSC, the level of knowledge that you need to have is your undergrad level. No, but that's very different, right? The syllabus is something. There's a reason it's always revised, and it comes out every year, is because you need to follow that very religiously. So don't think about this that if I were to appear for UPSC, I definitely have to choose a subject like history because it also will help me in my paper one. It's not, I mean, it does help you, but if you don't have that inclination towards a subject, I don't think choosing that subject and working twice as hard on the subject is a smart thing to do. Yeah,
There
I
are some
hope.
questions about Parul, about sports. So if someone wants to go into sports, what are the career options that they can take, and what, according to you, could be their subjects that they should go ahead? I know it is very individualized or customized,
Yeah.
but still, what do you
Yeah.
suggest?
So for sports, I would say that I'm not the best person to answer a question regarding sports. But I would still say that if you're somebody who's into sports, I mean, I know as a matter of fact, you can check out Loughborough University. They have some of the best courses when it comes to sports. And I mean, a lot of different teams also go ahead and they take their facilities and choose to sort of train on campus. So Loughborough University in the UK is a great university if you are somebody who's looking at making a career out of in the field of sports. So that's also there. Plus you can check out some other universities in the UK. But if you're in India, I would say that I think I'll have to come back to you with an answer for sports related courses in India because I'm not very sure and I'm not the best person to answer that. Yeah.
So they can check online, right? And they
They
can
can
check on
definitely
the
come on the platform. They can come on the platform, and we have a lot of different filters already in place. And if they're able to apply that, I'm sure they will get the right kind of recommendations, and then they can have a conversation with the counselors, even Team CIALFO from there. But the basic information they can definitely get from the platform, which is
So
what
of
I
course
meant.
there's sports management, there's sports psychology that
Oh
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
look
yeah.
at.
That's
More
yeah.
new careers in sports coming up. Like you told about the World Cup, there's so
Yes,
much in the
yes.
background that's happening other than the players' involvement. All right. So next question, I think we can go ahead asking one thing about CIALFO portal is the app. If you could
So it's available in the Play
Paul
Store. You can easily
explain
download it.
about the application
Yeah, it's
and
available.
does it have all the features
Yeah,
that we have?
it would have all the features. So we can easily download it from the Play Store also, from just from the CIALFO. So once the app is downloaded, you have to select your school name first, whichever branch, whether it is Bachani branch or Ashoka or Kev, whichever branch, and then you have to enter with your login ID and the login ID credential which we created, and then you will be able to, explore from the app. But as I suggested, this is just a suggestion. The initial stage, when you log in and update your profile, do that in the lap from a laptop or from a system, and then later on you can download the app. That's what the personal suggestion is. But you can download it from the Google app Play Store.
Right. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I have one more question that is about without maths, if someone wants to take something in science or want to not take maths, so what is that the child can take as options if there is no math, if they don't like math?
Yeah, there are so many different things, I mean, you can do without maths. You have this whole plethora of, the field of biotechnology, the field of biology, zoology, botany. There's so much that you can actually do without taking maths. It's not a mandatory thing for you to take maths with science as a combination that, without that, it's incomplete. There's so much more that you can do without even taking maths for sure.
Also
I
maths in commerce, if you could brief on that, like taking they don't like math, that's what they've written, that don't like math, so what are the options for them? Humanities is there, but other than that.
Humanities is there for sure. I mean, if you go ahead, if you want to do an MBA, for example, you don't need maths per se, right? And once you're somebody who's completed your MBA, everything is just open for you, just like it is for any math graduate. So, maths nowhere is mandatory for you to choose. If I talk about, my own this thing, my brother studied in IIM Ahmedabad, and he had a lot of people, who were MBBS doctors. They were NIFT graduates who were also studying MBA in IIM Ahmedabad with him without any maths. And trust me, there is no edge or anything that you sort of might feel that people who have studied math might get. It's all about your understanding of the subject and trying to understand, that entire landscape, that entire ecosystem of the field of business and management. So maths or no maths, the world is honestly open for you. It's only, I think,
That's
if you
very
want to do something like CA that you would require mathematics. I mean, that's different. But then, other than that, there is just so much more out there that you can definitely go ahead and have a look at. I saw one more question over here. Okay, I think.
Carol, just to add on to that, what about the entrances? Do you think they will need at least for the entrance exams, math will be a criteria?
So it always helps because then if you have questions related to mental ability, logical reasoning, having maths helps. But I would say practicing a lot of mock tests and question papers in the stipulated time period, I think that is what will actually give you an edge over other applicants. Because even if you've had maths and you don't have the practice of sitting there and solving a paper in like 2 hours, 3 hours, honestly it really amounts to nothing. And yeah, so it can give you an edge, but if you are very smart about it, if you really strategize properly, solving mock test papers and just taking those test series, a lot of times we have working professionals who are appearing for these MBA entrances. You just take that mock test series. I think that's also good to go, which is why you have selections in the top notch business schools of the country and of the world of students without maths.
Right, right. Of course, because when you're doing a 10th standard maths, this is for the students and parents. It involves a lot of more things. Like there's arithmetic, there is trigonometry, there's geometry, which
Yeah.
probably is not there or is not relevant, or that is one area that you don't like out of the other aspects of math, and what is not required for you maybe at the MBA level.
Exactly, which is why I'm mentioning mental ability and logical reasoning specifically and not calling it like math,
Hmm.
as an umbrella term. So, as you rightly mentioned, I mean, you don't really need geometry over there, but yes, you need to have that bent of mind where you're able to answer questions logically, have that understanding of mental reasoning. So that becomes more important than the, I would say, the curriculum that we sort of the course structure that we look at maths when we talk about maths. Yeah.
And I think that's what is the fear of
Yeah.
many students. Okay,
Yes.
there's also about entrance exams for actuarial science, but in general, if you could throw some light on entrance exam, and is the portal having that also mentioned there?
Absolutely. As I mentioned, in fact, I'll just show it to you. One second.
Sure, please.
So one second. I'll just. Can you see my screen? No. Paul, can you share your screen for me? I think I'll have to again rejoin.
Sure, you want the platform?
Just show the platform and just go to the
Just give me a
universities.
second. Just
Yeah.
give me a
So
second.
basically, it's very simple. If you are on the platform, if you just click on any university, you then have a list of courses to look at. And if you are somebody who wants more information on any course, you can just click on that course and you will have every information right from the eligibility criteria to, what kind of subjects you need to have, what does the course structure look like, the entrance exam, everything. Um, so everything can be assessed or accessed from that point. Another thing that Paul already mentioned was our destination experts and our education advisors. So once the student is in grade 12 and he or she is looking forward to applying to different universities and checking out different courses, okay, once again, through CIALFO. So we always club the student with one of our education advisors, and then they don't have to worry about anything at all. Our education advisors will be guiding the student about everything. That okay, this is the time that you have to start preparing. This is when you have your entrance. You are not meeting the eligibility criteria for this particular course. This is what you need to do. So everything is taken care of when the student is in grade 12 and is ready to apply to different universities. Other than that, for our students from grade 9 to 11th, I think all of the information that's actually required, it's on the platform. Whether you talk about careers, I've already shown you. I think last time when you had this call, we did not really have that career section, right? But this time the team has actually gone ahead and they've developed this entire thing, which is honestly very, very useful. So I'm sure all the students and parents who are today on this call with us, post this session, once they go on the platform, they will definitely find at least 10 career options for their student, for their child to look at, and just start saving it. Because the way that we've sort of organized that entire career page is very helpful. Uh, Everything is mentioned over there. You need to have information about these things. You need to be good in these skills. So it's really just very comprehensive and organized like that, and I think would be, yeah, very beneficial. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Do we have the scope of taking one or two more questions?
I think yes. Please go ahead.
All right. So one of the questions was about being a makeup artist. What should I take? Along with that, if you could answer these courses which don't have a set curriculum or a degree or a diploma, what can they do for those kind of courses? And if they want to take those kind of courses, what streams they should, what should complement it, or what they should choose for such aspects. Also with stock marketing, there is a question. So if you want
Right.
to club.
Right. So for very vocational training sort of courses, which fall in the, I would say, yeah, so very professional kind of courses. So there is no particular eligibility criteria that the student has to fulfill. They can just go ahead, choose science, math, commerce, humanities, whatever it is that they like, because a lot of these courses, when you especially talk about, for example, becoming a makeup artist, there is no specific subject combination which will help you, because it's something, it's like, you being good at drawing. I mean, it's something that you have inherently, and you can just learn a lot more of it through practice. So over there, a lot of these subject combinations and subject information, subject knowledge might not really help you like that, not directly. But a lot of times I've seen what students do is that they want to sort of safeguard their future, so they go ahead and choose something that is of interest to them, and then on the side they start sort of acting on their vocational thing on or their professional thing. For example, the becoming a makeup artist. So there are many courses available like that, but then there is no specific subject combination that will help a person become a makeup artist. That's a skill that you have to develop, and you have to keep on excelling in it by more and more practice. And I would say one thing that the students can definitely do is try and try doing a lot of courses. Once you even have learned everything, your learning does not stop over there. You have to be constantly, like, at par with the industry trends. What are the current trends of the market? who is, the big makeup artist right now. So try and, get what do you call an apprenticeship under that person. So I think these kind of things really help you. And something like marketing, if you are somebody who studied marketing, say for instance, you can definitely combine the two and make your own brand, right? So this think in that direction. When I was talking about interdisciplinary studies, this is what I meant. You marry your passion, you marry your interest with the subject of your choice. So in this kind of things, I would say marketing business is the kind of subject that you can definitely look at, as opposed to studying sciences and humanities, because this will definitely help you grow your business in the future.
All right, lovely. Thank you. One more question that comes is about political science. What can they do, or what they should choose for taking political science?
Uh, Political science, it's a very sought after course even at the undergrad level. So, political science, people can go ahead and do a BA in political science honors. At the master's level, I mean, political science can be divided into multiple categories. You can study international relations, you can study public administration. So, that's something that the student can look at at the postgraduate level. A lot of students go into policy making, a lot of students go into doing research. So that's also there. Plus UPSC is again a very, very, hot favorite of people who study political science. So yes, I mean, international relations, policy making, public administration, so a lot of options are there in that field. And if you're somebody who wants to become an assistant professor, I think PhD is the way to go, because political science kind of subjects, a lot of people many a times get into the field of research and, sort of combine it with something else that's really hot out there. And yes, go ahead, pursue your interest. It's not a professional degree, it's a more academic degree in nature, so that has to be kept in mind. So it might not give you a job opportunity immediately, but you have to sort of study for quite some period to be able to get into the market, get into the job market like that.
Okay, I think a lot of questions that are coming out are something that you have covered, Parul, in the past, the last few minutes or the last few hours. But a few questions like if you can give some idea about stock marketing. If someone wants to get into stock marketing, what is the course or option that they can take up in
uh,
academies?
Stock marketing, for the course, I think I'll have to check for that, because I'm not very sure about if there's a specific course that a person can take for stock marketing. But definitely, I mean, the field of commerce is there. You can try looking at finance as a specialization. That can definitely be of help to you if you're looking at stock marketing.
Okay. All right. So other questions that we can see around here are, some things that you will get on the portal. You will get its answer on the portal, and we'd like you to search that more. There's a question if you can start a business. If you're not good in math, you can do everything. If you want to do something in as a business, like it's your passion, your interest, and you will learn because you're interested in it. There was one question which is regarding CIALFO, which is about the data that has been collected on CIALFO. How is the privacy of that being maintained or confidentiality maintained? If Paul can answer that for our parents and students.
Definitely, there is complete privacy. We maintain that privacy, and we are not taking any other information. This is being visible only for the school and representatives. Basically, only the basic informations like the school email ID. Because this is required during the application time, and we maintain the privacy of that, and we are completely owned to that. We are privacy bound organization, so nothing to worry about that. It does not leak out to any of the school, any outside the school premises.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that information. And I think with that, since we're moving towards the end of our discussion, again, Parul and Paul, really, thank you so much. It was so nice to have this informative session with the two of you. And I'm sure the parents and children are also extremely well guided with career options that they have. I still see questions flowing in, but let me tell you, parents and students, the more you are active on this platform, the more you explore it, the more you read about it, the more questions you ask on that platform to the professionals and experts there, you're going to be guided the best way. So log into that portal. I know there's some questions about how to log in as well. So again, repeating the same, you have your links on your email IDs. Please access it, log in, start looking at the platform. We, as school counselors from each of the three branches, will assign assessments to you all. There is again a question about how do we decide about, is there an assessment or a tool that can help us decide the subjects? Yes, there is something that can guide you with, not decide the subject, but guide you with what kind of a subject selection will be good for your student, for your child, for which again your school counselors will assign that for all the grade 8, 9, 10 students. You can take the test at home, or the school counselor will guide you if they can take it in the school for you. And that's how we will take up the assessment for subject selection. Logging in is what you can do. This video is accessible and open for you to check out after some time as well. So you can, if your parents have not seen it or if the child has not seen it, please look into it again, share it with your friends as well. And with that, again, the last most important thing after what Paul and Parul will also agree to is that just check the portal. Keep checking, keep looking at it, keep reading it more. That's what is career exploration, and it's a process. You will take time to get the connection with what subject, what career you want to go ahead with, but be informed about it. Have the knowledge of this exists, and not only outside India or abroad, but also in India. All of these careers exist here too. You have the access to it now. With that, thank you so much, Parul and Paul, and all our students. Parents, on behalf of the Children's Academy Group of Schools, I really thank the students and parents to attend this, and you can definitely get in touch with your respective school counselors for any help that you require about the same. With that, we end today's talk. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.